Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm the sewing specialist here at Fons and Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make units that go into the quilt called Jelly Sandwich. If you'd like to purchase this pattern, please visit our website. Now, in my family, when my kids were growing up, there was always a decision on how does a jelly sandwich get cut anyway. And this is how you cut a jelly sandwich today. We're working with 2.5-inch strips in some really fabulous bright colors, and we're adding a little white to it just to kind of calm it down and give our eye a little place to rest. So from those 2.5-inch strips, your instructions will have you cut segments. Instead of having you make strip sets, we're having you cut segments because you want to have that scrappy effect, and so that the 2 colors or 3 colors aren't always exactly aligned together. So you get that scrappy effect. So cutting into segments off of the strips is what we're having you do. And then you're also going to be cutting white background rectangles also in the same size. Nice, good practice for someone who's just learning to quilt. We need to get really comfortable with using a ruler and rotary cutter. This is a good project for them. So maybe even working as a team, a mother-daughter, a grandmother, and a grandson. It's a great project to practice cutting. You're also going to be cutting some 2.5-inch squares. The first thing you usually notice when you look at this quilt is that there are bars in there, but there are also some squares. So from these, it's time to design. What we do is just go through the group and select 3 fabrics you want to put together into a strip set. And this would be a great spot for a young person to come in and help design, because they could lay out on the floor all of the strips and put them into groups of 3 like this. Now, one little thing that you can use to help you stay organized would be these little wonder clips. And once you get 3 that you like together, they're just like a little tiny clothespin. You can clip the pieces together and set those aside so they'll be ready to go to the sewing machine. I like to go through and pair up or group my pieces when I'm working on a big project like this, because I don't want to end up with 3 pink strips together or 3 orange strips together. I like to have that variety, so I tend to go through and, as my daughter would say, do planned scrappy. So work your way down through those strips to figure out 3 that go together. Then you could also do the same thing using that little clip to join or find 3 of the squares that you want to put together into another little set. And set those aside. Go down through and again put 3 together so that you're ready to take them to the sewing machine to sew. Now, when you're making strip sets, you have a tendency, you want to stay at the sewing machine and not get up. And what we're trying to advocate is take time to do the pressing step in between. So we're going to be doing putting the strips together, or the rectangles together. And we're going to join those first 2. If I were to stop and go ahead and put the 3rd one on right away, what I have then is kind of a curl. Because if I join this here, I've got this seam that I'm going to have to get in here and get that to be flat. What we want you to do is go to the iron. Your iron's your best tool. Make sure that you take that time. Set your seam, which means warm up the fibers, and press the seam allowance in one direction. Now in this project, it doesn't really matter which direction your seam allowances go. Just get them nice and flat. And then join your 3rd strip onto it and press then. That way you don't have to try to get in with the nose of your iron to try and get that flat. So once you've got 3 joined together and you've done the same thing with your small 2.5-inch squares, it's time to put pieces together. Now the arrangement here, diagrams are important. Let me grab my diagram. You'll have your magazine next to you. The first set, your top of the row, is 3 bars. We've joined with a white bar, then 3 more, another white bar, and there's where the 2.5-inch squares come in. Now, if you take a really quick look at this quilt, there are segments. It's put together almost like a gigantic 9-patch. There are segments or groups of these in 3 across the top, and 3 through the middle, and 3 at the bottom. So you don't have to work on all of the quilt at once. You can just accomplish one piece at a time. So we're putting together 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, or 3 rows like this, I'm sorry. And so make 3 of these. This next one is going to be positioned in this orientation, and then back the other direction. So you start with squares or rectangles, then you go to squares, and then rectangles again. When you've created your 9 large pieces of this quilt, then you can put it together and you have a jelly sandwich sliced and ready to go. If you'd like to see more of our Quilting Quickly tutorials, please visit our website. Thanks for joining me today.